The topic of this title is A Soldier Has a Mind to Think. You may replace soldier with any other word like warrior or fighter. So many of you listening to this are most likely fighters who care for principles of life, values of life, such as justice and freedom. So you go to war, you're a warrior, you go to war to protect these values. And certain times we have to protect these values, and then this is the time we go to war. We don't just follow orders. We have seen that sometimes people follow orders mindlessly. For example, we have seen this in German history during the Nazi regime. The process of questioning has to be moved more into the foreground. So orders are not just there to accept them. And I think it's important to know that if we want to change the system, if we want to move the system forward in a new direction, where people have a more balanced mindset, especially in the ranks of politicians or the military, for example, the police, those representing the whole country or a whole nation, then we have to think about whether certain orders should be denied. The orders are not just there to accept them. So in my opinion, it's game over for any system when the executive component of a system decides to step away from oppression and stops harassing people who stand up for their own life, their family, and their principal values in life. Having an executive force and executive power in a system is a privilege for any system. It is a privilege for any system to have an executive power that follows the orders, that executes orders. But if orders are merely accepted or taken to push forward a system of slavery and control, then the executive power is misused for the benefit of those who think they are in control. So in reality, they are not. Just a couple of things from my own past. Just a couple of things I noticed approximately 10 years ago. I listened to an interview where someone said, an interview that was on YouTube, where someone said that there will be a time when we are confronted with a virus that will dominate the whole world, and mass vaccinations will be considered to work as a cure. So this is what we can see in the media. Today I've just seen that millions have been invested into this antivirus campaign, into the vaccination campaign, and I think we are facing what that woman told the interviewer about approximately 10 years ago. I think it was over 10 years ago even. We are facing right now, and this is maybe frightening to some of us. So this person was also talking about things like mobile hospitals as a way to treat people and so forth. So she even mentioned the name, and this is the interesting part, she even mentioned the name COVID in this context. I think it is a weapon of control. And I myself do not bow to any form of control, any form of oppression. So if someone, for example, says it is not my right to oppose such forms of oppression that are going on right now, I just say I own that right. It is my right, and I do it anyway. Freedom cannot be taken from us. It is not a war of the physical plane. You cannot win it on the physical plane. So freedom cannot be taken from us. It is not a war on the physical plane. You cannot win it on the physical plane. I know how to contribute at least a part towards a society that I envision in my mind. So I know how to push forward society in a direction that leads away from all forms of misuse of power. A soldier has a mind to think. We have a mind to think. We are all warriors. We are all fighters. We all have a mind to think. And we do not just accept orders. We are here to protect our values. And don't just let the media tell you what you think. So I would, to be honest, I would not watch the content that is being distributed. The term of that virus has been literally misused, I would say. It's like a form of programming that is taking place every single day, for hours, I would say, the whole day basically. If you don't hear it, you read it. And those people distributing that information come across really as some kind of moral apostles in their suits, probably experiencing this plane for the first time. This is my impression of them. They're using the word in nearly every single sentence. If you turn on the major news channels, it's basically everywhere, every single minute, every second. And here in Germany, they even say the virus has the whole world in a choke. I mean, just think about that. It's like in Germany, they use the word Würgegriff, which basically is it's like a wrestling move or a move you find in MMA, where you can choke another person. And they say the virus has the whole world in a choke bar or something like that. And this is a spell. If you think about it, it's a spell. And I have heard it a couple of times already. They have a really deliberate form of expressing that. And those people running the show in the background, they are aware of the fact of that point. Those people presenting it, distributing it, those people who are politicians, or those most of them working in the military and so on, they have probably no clue about it. So it's a spell. If this information is presented like that, it is like a spell. It is a spell. So if you ask me, I have at least some knowledge in the occult. I have some solid knowledge in the occult, I would say. I have quite some, or gained some practical knowledge over the past couple of years. And I use black magic also to my own advantage. And what's going on here is black magic, definitely black magic. But as I just pointed out, most people do not know it. The people in the media don't know it, politicians don't know it. So there's a power behind this masquerade. There's a power behind what's being presented. They're slowly trying to gain more control. And it is worldwide, basically. It is not a country, it is a global phenomenon that can be traced back to the infiltration of the mind with a program that unfortunately has been active for far too long, for such a long time. It is not a single person to blame, like we like to do here in Germany quite often. We like to blame others or we like to divert attention away from us, away from ourselves. The German way of presenting the news is often look at what the American government is doing. So it's quite often criticizing the American way of life, which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion, because I mean, just look what is happening here in Europe or in Germany specifically. So, yeah. So it's not a nation. It is, and this information came to me as a download. Not this whole piece of information I've presented to you. It's some kind of a download if you think about it. But this small piece I will present now is so it's not a nation. It's another mind. This is the important point. It's not a single person. It's not a nation. It's another mind. So take a note of that. Take a note of that and overthrow any form of control, any form of